Hello and welcome back. In today's video we'll be continuing on from the last video. In just a quick recap on the last video, we've installed Express and we've installed node.js as a dev dependency, so you can see them here. Now we've set up two endpoints. We've set up one on the main page. We have we have an app.get request and an app.post request, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to take these out of the server.js and put them in their own folder on their own, so we can keep track of all the endpoints a lot easier. We don't want endpoints in our server.js file cluttering up the whole file, so we'll continue on and we'll go from there. So in our root folder we're going to create a folder. We're going to call it roots. So in this folder I'm going to create a file and I'm going to call it users.js. This is going to be our endpoint for all the user endpoints. Okay. So to get started creating endpoints or the roots, then we have to bring in Express again. So we do const express equals require express. Okay. Now we're going to set another variable, a router variable. So do const router equals express dot router, but put a capital R for the router here. Now, and then we just need to export the router. So do that by module.exports. Equals router. Save that for the minute. So in our server.js we were calling the endpoints by using app.get and app.post, but that's going to be different in our router file. So we're just going to take these out of our file. We're going to go to our users.js. We're going to paste them in here. But now instead of saying app.get, we're going to say router.get. Or router.get. Okay, let's save that now again. Now to use these, then we have to go back to our server.js and we have to tell the server how to get to these endpoints. So I'm just going to put in a comment here. I'm going to call this routes. So for our routes, then we need to bring in the routes first. So we're going to say, just tidy up this file a bit. So in order to be able to tell, we need to tell the server how to access these routes then. So we're just going to say const, we're going to bring in the route first, con const users equals require, and we're just going to go to our users.js file, so /routes/users, and to use that then we say app.use and we have to give it the endpoint that we want to call. So I'm going to call it users. So we're going to be hitting localhost 3000/users, and then we want to call user. So when we go to localhost 3000/users, our server will know to use the root for users. So save that now. Just go in here and check everything is okay in here. So here we're using router.get/, and this slash means that we're going to be it's going to be the same as /users. So when it hits this point, it's going to do the same thing as we had in our server when we had it in our server.js file. So we'll run nodemon now, and we'll start up the server and we'll test it out. So we say npm run dev, and why we're using npm run dev is because in the first video we set up a script dev, and with the script dev we're telling nodemon to run server. If you're not familiar with this, maybe go back and look at the first video that I made about creating endpoints and then come back to this video. Okay, so we're listening on port 3000 and we have our routes set up. So we're going to open postman and we're going to make a get request, but this time now we're going to make it not to localhost 3000, we're going to make it to localhost 3000 users, and we should get back. So localhost 3000, we should get back response.send 3000. I'm going to just put in user. Okay, so our server's after refreshing, and so let's send that now, and you see we get back users 3000, and it's basically the same thing for the post request. So we have our get and our post in here, and the post will be to users again, and we will send a request.message.body. Okay, so we'll just do that here now. So we're going to change it to a post request. Okay, and our body is message post 3000. We'll just say users here to distinguish it. So we'll send a post request to that users route now. Okay, so we get back success true, and that's after working. The really good thing about using the routes is for any different route that you require. So just say we have this one for users. Just for argument's sake, you want one for authentication as well. So we'll just set up one here as well. We'll say a new file in here, and we'll call it auth.js. So I'm just going to copy in what we have here and modify it as we need it. Auth.js. So require app.getSend. We'll send back auth. Request that. So that should be all good. We'll save this. App.get. So in order to get this to work as well, we have to tell our server where to go to require it. So I'm going to say const auth equals require /routes/ this is going to be auth this time, and instead of this we're going to tell it to go to /auth. So going to the endpoint /auth, and it's going to go to the root for auth. So we'll save that then. Okay, so everything should be good. We'll go back to Postman now. We'll do another get request. Okay, and this time it's going to be to /auth. And if we do a send this time now, we get back auth 3000. And for our post request, we'll just change this to auth. So we're going to localhost 3000 auth. We'll send success true, message port 3000. So that's how you can distinguish to go to different routes. And you can see if we had all these in our server.js, our server.js would be getting all cluttered. We'd have we'd have 4 endpoints inside in our server.js file, where there's no need for it to be in the server.js file. So it's really a tidier way of creating your endpoints, and you can keep track of them all. In the next video we'll show you how to create a few collections in Postman, and how you can easily save your endpoints and refer back to them quickly, and no need to be typing them out all the time. I have some endpoints here created already. You see you have your post ones. You can just set up whichever you want, and all the paths will be there, and it's a good way of keeping track of them all. Thanks very much for watching the video. If you like these kind of videos, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.